some issues are emanating. Once again, welcome. I am Sunday Kolawole. Today we'll be delving into issues having to do with preparations for the May 29 inauguration of President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the preparation of Nigerians, as well as all of the schemes and lobbying that are going on towards the formation of a new cabinet. Joining me in the convention this morning are two gentlemen, a federal lawmaker, former federal lawmaker actually, Honorable Kolawole. Good morning. It's nice to have you on the seat once again.
It's a pleasure. Viewers, it's a good day for all of you.
Of course. Also here is another politician of note here in Ondo State and beyond. I'm talking about Honorable Sunday Techibe. It's nice to have you again. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, namesake.
I know you never forget to say that. All right, let's set the ball rolling. Come May 29, there are expectations that, of course, a new government will kick off, and there would be a formation of a new cabinet thereafter. For you, let me start from you, Honorable Dejibe. If you take a look at the person of the President-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, can you really say he's ready for this task, especially in terms of bringing people together who will be able to pilot the affairs of this country to a more glorious destination than what we currently experience?
Yeah, thank you. I really want to believe Bola Ahmed Tinubu is adequately prepared for this huge task. And quite actually, honestly, I have the notion that he has been on this issue for almost 2020 since he left the governorship.
How do you know?
Yeah, because you will have seen the schemes. Then, from the formation of AC to ACN, trying to establish a relationship with the North, especially in APC, when he deliberately approached Buhari and Buhari offered him the vice presidency before it was jettisoned because of a Muslim ticket. You know, this is somebody that has prepared himself.
But he never came out at that time to talk about presidential ambition.
No, well,
so that's how you do.
He brought the Badu, he brought Atiku, he brought Buhari. He was doing all these things deliberately because he has. So I believe in a nutshell that he's well prepared for this. And if one of the things that he's noted for is that he shops for the best bread. He did it in Lagos, and I'm very sure he is well prepared.
I was waiting for that expression. I was actually waiting for that expression, but I will not let you continue on that lane. I would like to know the view of on that matter. You see, you politicians, you are quick to always talk about pedigree and background of people when suddenly they get to a higher pedestal. My question is this: how correct are we as Nigerians to want to say, because Tinubu has been governor of Lagos State and then he did this and that in the reckoning of people who also hold that view, and so he will be a better president and they will be able to also shop for people who will pilot the affairs of Nigeria? Remember, Lagos is just a microcosm of the Nigerian state.
Well, thanks very much. I want to, without missing ways, support the view of Honorable Sunday Adéjùyìgbé that this man did this in Lagos and he succeeded. And if you see the present regime or the outgoing, you see that lot of people, lot of brains that Tinubu discovered and developed in Lagos, occupied very strategic position even in this administration. Take for example, Fashola is one of them. He was chief of staff to Tinubu before he governed Lagos himself. He served as minister. Fowler was also with him in Lagos. Akabuize, and quite a good number of them like that. If these people are not very competent and good, I'm sure they will not, bring them on board to serve with this present regime. So what we are saying is that he at that level, he operated as governor, and he succeeded in shopping for the best brave. And since then, you can see his role in even the successive regime that have been ruling that state, that they are still his products. And you can see that these people, they are also good managers of resources.
Gentlemen, how good are these managers of resources? You should be able to add a new twist, interesting twist to this matter. You've mentioned Babatunde Fashola, Red Fashola, of course, minister, former governor, former chief of staff. You've mentioned Tunde Fowler, FRS, and then if you want to keep mentioning, you mention Alfred Fashola, you want to mention, and so on and so forth. Now you said that they are brain behind the current administration, managers of mineral resources, yet Nigeria is what it is today. What should we say? If indeed these are the products of Tinubu, and then Tinubu will not be able to bring together people again who would also form a cabinet to continue in the pilot of the Nigerian state.
Let me now tell you that leadership matters a lot. The one who pilots the affairs of an organization, either at the state level, local government, all that matters. Those that we have mentioned, there is nothing to show that they have not really performed in their own areas of engagement.
As the government in its entirety performed well, creditably to the applause of Nigerians.
Excuse me, let me say this. By the special grace of God, I've been in government, and I know what it means. What we are saying is that those people that are products of Bola Ahmed Tinubu that serve in this government, I'm still insisting, because by the grace of God, the time I was a member National Assembly, I have opportunity of engaging Fashola as ministers of works. So I'm saying that these people in their area of engagement, they have performed, they have done well, and I know that Tinubu now being in charge, the one who will now assemble these people, and going by his own pedigree, as you have earlier said, how he has been able to manage, the human resource that or resources that gather together, that is going to make a lot of difference. It's going to make a lot of difference. So we Nigerians should hope for the best in this coming administration, and I know that the man, with the help of God, will not disappoint us.
Already, we just hope for the best. That's what Afeloweke just said. And if you put your mind back and you look at 2015, Nigerians really hoped for the best. Can we say Nigerians got the best or are getting the best? Now we are going into another era, and then we also say Nigerians should hope for the best under a new sheriff. How sure are we that the best is really coming?
Well, in the first instance, the basis of sustenance of life is hope. That is it. Because
and that's why the Tinubu campaign was based on renewed hope.
Yeah, because
how renewed is the hope?
Even when Pastor Dube was talking the other time, said he hopes this will be the best government, or he will provide the best government or a good government for the country. You are talking about Buhari's 2015. Fine. So many people had the hope, had the impression that this will be one of the best we will have in this country. Yeah, but fine. The circumstances surrounding that one of Buhari was based on his performance, maybe in 1983-84, and then people felt this is a man that is upright.
Just as you're also basing expected performance of Tinubu on the 1999 governorship in Lagos.
Not only that, Tinubu, like my leader was saying the other time, has produced, after he left in 2003, he brought in Fashola. And you would agree with me that Fashola was the best governor of his era. Between 2003 to 2011, he was the best governor in Nigeria. After Fashola, Tinubu produced Ambode briefly, And look at what Sanwo-Olu is doing in Lagos. Look at the innovations, the development. And they are all doing this under the guidance of Tinubu. And look at even the men Tinubu contributed into the Buhari's administration. Look at Akagwezi, who is the director of the Debt Management Office. Look at the woman that is in charge of this SDG, minimum development goals, things like that. Look at even Fashola. Look at even Aregbesola. These people have proved their competence, and so you cannot deny that fact that Tinubu identifies the best, and that is what management is all about. The head might not be, the other time I think they made a professor of as a minister for health. Professor Lambo, was it Lambo during I wouldn't know whose regime. He was not even a medical doctor. He was made the minister of health, and that man was one of the best health ministers we have in this country. So this case applies also to Tinubu. Tinubu manages men. Okay. And fine, Nigeria is a bigger sector than Lagos state. You have to choose men from 36 states. You have to identify, and certainly you might not be able to. And there will be also some political factors, because when there are some instances where it might not even be your choice, that maybe it is the governors or the party in the state that will make nominations for you. But I know when Tinubu is constituting his inner cabinet, they will be made up of. Look at Wale Edun. He's going to be part of this administration. And I know these are people that will make a change. These are people that will effect a better Nigeria. I'm promising Nigeria as well. Maybe I'm an APC person, but in all sincerity, Tinubu has prepared himself.
Okay, I just hope Nigerians will also hold you to your words, and then as time goes by. Of course, everyone is optimistic, and let's not get it wrong. But we just need to set everything bare to really know what exactly we are expecting in the new administration that we expect to be inaugurated on May the 29th. Now, Honorable Afelokere, I've listened very attentively to Honorable Adejubi, and one thing keeps coming to my mind. He has mentioned lots of people, they will be part of the administration, this and that. Aren't you afraid there might also be issue of nepotism and all this issue of tribalistic tendency in appointment that many will now see as lopsided? If with all this trajectory, it might be a case of Southwest for sure.
No. You know that there is constitutional provision.
Federal character.
That at least one person will have to be part of the cabinet, at ministerial level.
All right.
So definitely that, and in fact, it is even this issue of nepotism, tribalism that we know that will make even Asiwaju's administration different from that of Buhari. I wanted to say it earlier that yes, because we Nigeria really had a lot of high hope in this Buhari administration, but if it had all this expectation and hope of Nigerians away because of his own agenda, which to me is a very selfish agenda, a tribalistic agenda, exhibiting religious bigotry, tribal chauvinism, and all sorts of things like that. Because how can somebody, either, disregarding you of competence and capability and bring in people that are from his own tribe, occupying all strategic positions? I think that contributed to the failure of the outgoing administration. I know Tinubu will not do that, and he has even said that he will be looking for competent people that will work with him. Who
are those appointed by Buhari that you have a problem with their competence?
Look, in the first place, all Nigerians complain about those that manage the security architectures of the country, that all of them are Fulanis. And excuse me.
Is that about competence or about where they come from?
No. The one, when Nigerians, when these Boko Haram people were gaining more grants, and Nigerians were complaining about brutal competence and capability in handling the security situation, the man was adamant. He careless because he wanted to satisfy, the need to retain that man. Even that people complain about his inability to manage the security architecture very well. So there are a lot of others like that that have not really, made any positive contribution to the development of this country, and yet Buhari did not budge to remove them, even when all Nigerians complain.
Is there any such example in his cabinet? That's of more concern to us.
Minister of Digital and Communication, Patani. At the time that even it was revealed that this man was a
religious bigot.
A religious bigot and all that, and people were complaining he did not remove him, and I don't know the contribution of that man, and not him alone. There are so many.
Okay, you don't know the contribution of Pantami to Nigerian development up until now as a minister. That's what you're trying to say.
And even to the sources of the administration of Buhari. So that's exactly what we are saying, that will make this coming administration different from that one. That Tinubu will rely on competent people to manage all different sectors and produce results as he has been able to achieve in Lagos. We have said it, that he is a manager of resources, both human and materials. That he did that. It is at the level that he has done that we will make reference to, and that is and we know that if somebody is able to even manage Lagos and succeed, he should be able to manage this Nigeria, because you find every tribe, every nation that makes up Nigeria in Lagos. So I do not really doubt his own competence, his own administrative prowess, and his ability to even manage the people and the resources of this nation.
Okay.
But we must actually say this fact that there are a lot of problems on ground for the coming administration. And like my colleague said that, and not only him, I remember Reverend Father Puka made a remark after the outcome of the election that Tinubu has been the only person in Nigeria who has really prepared for governance of this nation and has made it. The only person who has really prepared, who has really prepared that want to be president and really made it.
So others accidentally became presidents?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. When Shagari became president, he wanted to be senator.
Yeah.
He wanted to be senator. Umaru Diko was the one that was to be made president by MPN that time. But they changed the whole narrative because he's an Hausa person, whereas Shagari a Fulani. So he did not. He wanted to be senator. Obasanjo was in prison. He didn't prepare for it.
Even Jonathan.
Even Jonathan, is just by, you can see that all of these people, even at the time, Buhari became president, he was not really preparing for it again, because he has retired from politics. He wept that he was no longer going to put himself forward. So all of them, but sincerely speaking, this is somebody who had prepared, who had really studied the situation of this country. He understands even every the EU concerning every nation, every tribe in Nigeria, and he has done his own work, and you can see the reflection of that own work even in the outcome of his election. That
Okay.
you can see that where Tinubu did not come first in that election, in any state where he did not come first, come second. Where Atiku come first, he will be second. Where Obi come first, he will be second. You can see this spread. That this is even a person who has really walked throughout this country and made himself, or registered himself to the minds of Nigeria.
All right, so many things we still have to talk about. Honorable Kolawole talked about the fact, according to him, that Tinubu had prepared himself. And when you look at the experience of Nigerians in the outgoing administration, many are not comfortable with the fact that their leader would just be out of the country for the better part of the month, for the better part of the year, year in, year out, in the last 8 years. Now, Tinubu is preparing to take over the reins of affairs in Nigeria. He's currently out of the country. And then the report we got was that he's on a working visit. And the question is, as what?
Well, let me tell you this. There is Biden, or let me say, any president you don't have to stay within your confined 365 days.
Very well. But not for the better part of the year.
Yeah.
That you'll be out of the base.
I understand the view of Buhari because he was slightly indisposed. He had medical issues, and he felt, like he said, he has a doctor that he has been using for almost 20, 25, 30 years back that he has trust in. Fine, let's take that as his excuse. But with Tinubu, we cannot easily project that it's going to go the same way. Tinubu said he traveled because he wants to get... You see, there are a lot of tense moments around.
Okay.
People are lobbying to be ministers. People are lobbying to be part of the government. So since he came back from his last trip, Tinubu has been holding meetings. If it is not about the National Assembly, it will have to be about party use. It will have to be so he needs concentration, and we have to believe him on that.
Oh, so you don't believe it's a working visit? It's an escapism?
No. It's a working visit. He himself said he wants to hit the ground running. So it is not that when I believe that it's not going to be the kind of situation of Buhari that it is after 6 months he will be able to set up his cabinet. Even before Tinubu got sworn in, he has sent Wale Aidun to the World Bank to look at the debt portfolio of Nigeria, to look at where they will come in and at least handle the economic aspect of his government. Apart from that, he has also sent people around. So even before the swearing, he has started working. And now if he had to travel, he wants, like he said, hold meetings with people that he knows will be of help to his administration.
Just a moment. If you want to be minister today, it is assumed that you are not a common man, and so if you want to lobby the president-elect, it will be nothing to you to fly out and then go meeting where it's going to. Do you agree with me?
No. Well, it's definitely, if it's outside the country, accessibility of people to him will be controlled.
But not completely out.
Of course, not completely, but certainly it will be controlled.
Okay, your point is well made.
Certainly it will be controlled. Unlike if it's in Abuja, almost everybody knows his house. People will come. It has been visit upon visit. He has never rested for a single day.
Okay.
There are times people close to him says he sleeps 4 a.m., wakes up 8 a.m. Sleep 4 a.m., wake up 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. So he needs all those things. Then he needs to go to find a place. Though people were saying, why didn't he go to Ducatu Ranch? Or why didn't he go to Yakari? But those places too, he cannot escape from lobbyists or people that will not let him. So, and as some of the oppositions has projected, but maybe it's about himself, fine. He's not a young person at 70. So if he thinks he would have to do 1 or 2 checkups about his health, I think it's okay before he resumes finally.
Does that not put many people at an age to be thinking that maybe something might also go the way that they've been experiencing?
No.
All right, we will continue in this path of conversation, but then let's quickly take a break. When we return, we'll be taking a cursory look at how well the president-elect, when he eventually becomes the president, will be able to handle legislative-executive relationship in terms of moving Nigeria forward collaboratively. Please just stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
It is one country that we must build together.
With the May 29 date for the swearing-in ceremony of the administration of the President-elect Bola Tinubu drawing near, Nigerians from different walks of life have urged the winner of the February 25 presidential election to choose great minds to help them achieve his renewed hope agenda. Party stakeholders are already engaged in intense lobbying for key positions in government, including ministerial appointments. This, no doubt, is healthy in any democracy. But the first impression any presidency will raise in the minds of the people will be premised largely on the selection of cabinet members. Many Nigerians believe that the essence of democratic governance is performance, and that performance is measured in terms of what democratic governance could deliver for citizens.
It will not be the best for any administration to bring a carpenter to be minister for health. It will not be the best for an engineer to be in position of education. So what am I saying in essence is those people that knows what they are going there to do are those people I appeal to him to please put there to work with him.
Take for instance, somebody is going to be the Attorney General of the Federation, must have served at least 10 years at the bar and with prerequisite experience. So you cannot just bring any other person because it's going to be number one law officer of the country. Then Minister of Health must be somebody who is knowledgeable about the health of the people, who has passed through the mills of medical practice, not just anyhow.
Let the incoming administration put in the right people in the right position, especially as touching our security. So about whether it should be the people of this faith, people of that faith, or whatever, well, I don't think that should be of so much concentration, but people that can really make things to happen, so that Nigerians will begin to have that faith in Nigeria, so that we can begin to know that this is a country that can work and that it is being made to work.
I believe this administration need to put youth into the system. They need to include youth. We need a lot of youth, the vibrant and well-educated.
They called on the president-elect Bola Tinubu to put modalities in place to ensure he meets the expectations of Nigerians.
We just have to appeal to the incoming administration to think of the less privileged people, mostly the working class. At least if this thing is well cared for, then we may not have much problem. Look at the area of these pensioners. We could see some of them that cannot even be able to buy their drugs, even the food they want to eat.
We need to have more effort so that we could be able to see a better Nigeria. Because people are complaining, things are very costly, everything is very hard, and people are not happy.
The young people, all right, that are supposed to constitute the energetic workforce that can make a country to work. When you see them running away as a result of a poor economy, then that is not a good omen for the country. I would want the incoming administration to look into this area, how jobs can be created, how the economy can be made to work.
You must not do something that will undermine the rule of law. Because there's no rule of law, there's no democracy.
The president-elect Bola Tinubu, in his acceptance speech some months ago, emphasized an all-inclusive government. How well he crosses this first hurdle will engender the trust of Nigerians who seek a new approach to governance.
Of course, in that break, it was not a break for us. We've just been also analyzing the issues, especially as regards the aggregate of opinions of people who are also bearing out their minds on what they feel should be the preoccupation in the mind of the new administration when it eventually kicks off. Welcome back, everyone. Still very much with me, two gentlemen. We've been having this conversation all along. Honorable Kolawole, former federal lawmaker, thank you so much for still being with me. Or with Sunday Adejigbe, thank you so much for still being here. Now, we were talking about the expected performance of President-elect Bola Tinubu when he eventually becomes the president. Now, Honorable Kolawole, something is very key, and that is collaborative efforts at developing a particular space. In this context, Nigeria, there must be a relationship between the executive and the legislature, and also with the judiciary. Now, taking a closer look at the latest development in terms of the 10th National Assembly that will be proclaimed just after the inauguration, do you think the ruling party, All Progressives Congress APC, is handling this matter so well in terms of zoning of leadership positions? And you'll find many people kicking against the zoning arrangement. The governor of Ondo State, Oloroti Makeredolu, has also kicked against it, saying that there must be independent legislature. What do you think?
Yes, thanks very much. As a former member, I also subscribe to the idea of allowing the legislative arm to be relatively independent. Okay. Yes.
Relatively.
Yes, independent in the sense that, when I say relatively, that's in making their choice of leadership themselves.
Okay.
In making the choice of leadership of the National Assembly themselves, that will give the legislative arm some level of honor and respect, and an independent actions and decisions. But then there is always, the executive will always want to find a way of
exerting influence,
of a way of getting to the legislative arm as a way of promoting peace through influencing the choice of the leadership, so that those people will have some level of sympathy and cordial working relationship. Okay. Be that as it may, I want to believe that Bola Tinubu, like we said earlier, that he did some things in Lagos as governor, and even after he left as governor, that will make me to believe that he can always relate very well, robustly with the legislative arm. When he was governor, and Obasanjo as the president of this country was using 6-member House of Assembly, 8 members House of Assembly to impeach governors, to impeach governor around. It was this man that was making all effort to fight for the right of these governors to fight their cause. I think he did that for Ladoja. We had about that. He did that in so many other states. Okay. that happened. So in this regard, let me now say that the 10th National Assembly, even though they were aware of the zoning that the party is doing, well, the party may not completely be perfect in the zoning arrangement. And if they are not doing it correctly, and there are protests, it means that the party will still have to, look into the cause of the protest. And if there is need for adjustment, the adjustment will be made. For example, when I read, the write-up of Mr. Governor here, he made a very germane point that how can 2 principal officers out of 4 come from one zone that is northwest. The speaker of the proposed speaker of the House of Representatives is coming from Kaduna. The deputy senate leader is coming from Kano. So he's saying that how can, whereas there are other zones that equally contributed to the success of the outcome of the election of APC, that should be considered. I think that's very, very reasonable, and I would want to also align my interest, my own interest with that position, that at least North Central can also be considered, because we had very good outing in that North Central. We had very good outing in North Central. So I think that place too needs to be considered. But then, you see, when we are talking about positions at the national level, it doesn't start and end with these 4 positions at the National Assembly. Deputy Senate President, the position of the Secretary to the government, the position of and
so many other positions, because of our time,
are still very good positions that can still go to some of these zones. But for the 10th Assembly to be able to make robust contribution that will add value to the success of the current, the incoming administration, I think to some extent they should be allowed some level of independence.
Do you see that happening?
The 9th Assembly, yes, that can happen. The 9th Assembly, to me, has been the worst.
How do you mean?
Yes, has been the worst, because in Lawan and in Gbajabe Amila, there has never been a time that they saw anything wrong in whatever Buhari brought to that National Assembly. And it was not like that in the 8th Assembly. It was not like that in the 8th Assembly. You see, it was not. And I think what was responsible is that those people that emerged in the 8th Assembly emerged outside the influence of the administrative arm of government,
which also has been criticized by many of the politicians.
Those who understand the game did not criticize it. Those who just feel that the National Assembly should be under the control of the executive and those who designed this presidential system of government has not designed it so. They have designed it so that both arm of government can, to some extent, exert influence on one another.
Just a moment. But do you also align with the view of Honorable Lokere that this 9th Assembly has, in his words, been the worst in the history of Nigerian democracy? Legislatively.
Well, let me start with the issue of Arakuni. I don't think Arakuni in his release will ever advocate for the independence of the legislative arm, because there is no way you will have a completely free legislative arm. And I'm very sure Arakuni will not sit idle.
Rightly or wrongly so?
Yeah, rightly.
Rightly or wrongly so, that we should not have an independent legislature when the Constitution actually talks about the independence of all of the arms.
Like my leader said, relatively independent. I know Arakuni will not sit idle when they are electing a speaker in the House of Assembly in Ondo State, and they will not the executive arm will not interfere.
Will not show interest.
Will not show interest. Don't let me say interfere. So, like
I'm amused by your semantic manipulation.
No,
what's the difference between interference
and tell you the difference. Before the party came into, before the party intervened.
I understand what you're talking about.
Let me just make this point.
Maybe you make your point.
Okay, before the party intervenes in the issue of the National Assembly, there were Northerners that were campaigning to be the Senate president. But would that have been, if they were left completely independent and a Northerner emerges as the Senate president, would that have been fair? And if the president-elect did not intervene. Lawan was scheming seriously to come back. Yari, the immediate past governor of Zamfara, was scheming to come back. And if they had used their majority in the National Assembly to emerge, and a northerner emerges as the Senate president, would that have been fair? So there is no way there will not be slight interference, so that we will have a stable
interference again.
Yeah, there's no way the party will not interfere. So apart from that, now, like
this present National Assembly.
Yeah,
I'm interested in knowing your view about.
Of course, the National Assembly, to me, the fact is this:
Okay.
National Assembly, because they are in the legislature, does not mean they have to constitute themselves as opposition to the executive. People are expecting them. No, you must fight them. I don't believe that is what the constitution.
You disagree that it's the worst.
Well, these ones, I don't know what they have
rating.
What they have done.
Ninth National Assembly.
Yeah,
you're trying to stay.
Just my guy here has been a legislative man all his political life. He was in the House of Assembly. He was in the National Assembly as of Rep. So he has a better perspective of their performance. But to me, as a political man and somebody that at least wants to be objective, I want to believe they might not be. I want to believe they performed better than the Saraki regime. The Saraki did not come to the Saraki set of National Assembly. They showed too much. You see, that's why it's not about antagonism. But when you assume a position and you just say that this position, I want to use it to create problem for the executive.
Was that what the Saraki?
That was what the Saraki
National Assembly.
Yes, that was exactly what Saraki Senate. Maybe I should exclude the House of Rep. That was what Saraki Senate did. They deliberately. And it will not go well for the smooth administration of the country when everything the executive wants.
Unfortunately, the system is not on side.
So I won't rate.
Your point is very made. I don't want to stand them on the side of any of the fence. You don't want to be in the middle of the
No, I will rate them as it was.
No,
I will still rate Saraki Senate as it was the country ever produced.
You are entitled to your opinion, of course, and all the views expressed here, they are your views.
Yeah, of course, they are my views.
Exclusively yours.
Yeah,
now, one task before we leave this conversation. I still like to start with you. Now we're talking about constituting a cabinet. Do you have recommendations actually of people you think really work with president-elect when he eventually becomes president, and then they'll be able to make the difference that Nigerians really want? Anything on your mind?
Well, thanks very much. Yes, I will not say that I have particular people or persons to recommend to him, but I would want to suggest or advise that he need to really critically shop for people that have competence, people that can add value, because the expectations of Nigerians are very high, and those that can assist him to meet the expectation of Nigeria, even if not 100%, at least above average, that will be able to work with him. Those who will make a lot of changes to what we experience now. Those who will not, make themselves cog in the wheel of progress of that administration. Just like, for example, what Emefiele to me seems to be to this administration. And in fact, that's one of the areas where I said that the present legislative leadership is the worst. because the legislator as it is supposed to be representative of the people.
Very well.
Who will be the mouthpiece of the people? They are not supposed to be part of the executive. The moment the legislator now say that we have to collaborate with the executive, they are deviating from their position of being the mouthpiece of the people. They're supposed to go there and be advocating for the people, fighting for the interest of the common people that send them there.
What should the Ninth Assembly have done about the Emefiele case?
No. The Ninth Assembly, what did you hear them?
I'm asking you what you think it should have done.
At least that period, during the 8th Assembly, they're supposed to really come out and let the people really know that they are not in support of the what's it called, the emergency new note introduced, those that was almost targeted at a single person. So sir, I'm not recommending particular people as if recommending on everybody doing but I'm recommending that he should shop for people like him who can make
I think already you're making a contribution. It's been nice. Just in 60 seconds.
Yeah, okay. I would also want Tinubu, apart from competence, to consider people that have the love of the people, of the masses at heart, so that when deciding any policy, they should have the interest of the masses.
How do you know people have the interest of the masses at heart?
Of course.
Did you see it's written on the head of
politicians know their skills.
Now read this because that's what you are talking about.
But people that Tinubu will choose are not people he doesn't have an idea about or information about. That is it. It's people that will be less corrupt, because we know if they are so they know. So people that will be less corrupt. And again, I just want to add something. He was talking about the executive and the legislative. The legislators are representatives of the people. The executives too are representatives of the people. The people voted them. The people voted the governor. It's the same people that, and so the two people.
He does not agree with you on that.
The only arm that is appointed at the judiciary.
Okay then.
But your point is not the executive.
I know you continue to
representative.
Whether or not
that the legislative.
That's not true. According to you. That's true. According to you. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Honorable Sunday Adejigwe, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on these very important issues. On my fellow, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much for coming again on the program. Everyone, it's been nice having you part of this episode. If you like me, call it episode this time around, because we've been having this series of conversations about national development in the last how many weeks now, and we assure you it will continue until next week when another edition of State of the State comes up. I'm Sunday Kolawole. Please enjoy the rest of the day.